The impact of calcium on osteoporosis. The next question to be asked is, what is osteoporosis and how does it affect the body? Osteoporosis is a chronic condition where the bone loses too much mass and it becomes extremely weak. The bones that are most affected are the hips, spine, and wrist. Women over the age of 50 will be most likely affected by osteoporosis. The biggest question that comes to mind is, why are women more affected? Women are more at risk for osteoporosis than men because of the hormone changes in the body due to menopause. These changes have a direct effect on bone density. Estrogen is an essential hormone needed for bone health. After a female goes through menopause, the levels of estrogen drop dramatically and therefore lead to a decrease in bone density. It is extremely important for younger females to take care of their bodies knowing they are at an increased risk for osteoporosis later in life. Exercise is a great way to keep bones healthy. Also, from a nutritional standpoint, calcium is essential for bone health. Once again, calcium is an essential nutrient when it comes to bone health. Bone hardness and structure is all thanks to calcium, and there are many sources where you can obtain calcium. Milk has two key nutrients that are essential for good health in humans. These are calcium and protein. Per the dietary guidelines of 2015 to 2020, it is recommended that adults take in about 3 cups of low-fat or fat-free dairy every day. There is a quite obvious connection between osteoporosis and milk. That being, calcium is the main mineral in bones, and calcium is also the major mineral in milk. Humans are one of the only species that consume milk after infancy, so other species do survive without it. Although this is true, there are many other beneficial factors from drinking milk, especially if an individual is not obtaining calcium in any other food sources. Calcium is maintained in the blood at a relatively low number, but if that number is not where it needs to be, calcium is pulled from bones, and if this continues to happen, bones will lose density and become more susceptible to breaking, like what happens when a person is suffering from osteoporosis. Randomized controlled trials were performed and proved that dairy is effective for the body. In the adults and the elderly that were in the study, taking in dairy proved to improve bone density and decrease the risk of fractures. It was also found that milk that was fortified with vitamin D was even more efficient in the strengthening of bones. Calcium in the milk and the vitamin D work well together because the calcium helps to build up the bone, while the vitamin D helps the body effectively absorb that calcium. The overall results of the trials prove that calcium is needed for bone health, and the best way to obtain the levels of calcium needed is through dairy products. Although calcium supplements are available, they are not as effective and can possibly lead to complications with the heart and other health issues. The evidence that the trials spoken of previously provide is overwhelming and undeniable that dairy products can impact bone health in a major way. For women in particular, it is extremely important and necessary to take this information seriously, considering women are 4 times more at risk for osteoporosis than men. Eating or drinking dairy products every day is what I would recommend because there is no harm from it. There can only be beneficial factors and impacts on bone health. Calcium is needed for the body no matter what, and the more there is stored in the bone, the healthier the bone will be for the future. Men should also be mindful of this information because they are not immune from osteoporosis. They too should be normally consuming dairy because there are still risks for developing osteoporosis in their older age. Bone health is important no matter who the person is. Bones allow us to move, protect us, and support us. It is critical we take care of them.